And hello to my Gemini friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and I'm going to be doing your free psychic tarot reading for June of 2021. Today we're going to be looking at a Celtic cross spread. It is a big spread with a lot of information, usually on one topic designated, but it can veer off of that and go to other topics. We're going to get into that, see what they have to say about that, as well as look at your animal totem for the month of June. That's the way we will conclude. So it should be pretty interesting. Animal totems usually are, and Celtic Cross is an interesting spread as well. I'll explain more about that as we go, but let's get started. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time, and what I'm going to do now is bring you in so you can watch. There we go. And what I'm doing right now are my ritual cuts. That basically cuts the deck into thirds and puts them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. I like to do this live so that it's the same exact procedure as if you were here getting a personal private reading from me. So everything is fresh, legit, and live. So here we go, Celtic Cross. Make sure everything's on screen here. I think we got it. And I got to run up the side here. I'm going to run out of room there. Let's see if we can squeeze this guy in here. Okay, it's kind of weird, but at least it's all in the frame. So that is what we are looking at with the Celtic Cross. I'm going to get a few, let's see how we're going to do this. Get one here. One here. And one here. I know that's a lot, and some of it's out of frame. I do apologize for that. Big spread. So I'm going to go back to the wide angle, bring you back here, and we'll get underway, and I will declutter this mess and hopefully make some sense of it. All right, so now I can kind of unmove this. I can relocate this out of the screenshot and give myself more room to work with. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so to begin, your present situation is extremely bound up. You're extremely handcuffed to something or someone. It presents itself as the Devil card. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. It just means tied up into something. A lot of times addiction can fall into it. So it does have a lot of it denotes some bad things, but it doesn't necessarily mean evil. It's more about just being attached to something, like handcuffed to something or someone or even an idea or, like I said, a habit. That's the first thing that comes up for you in your present position for the month of June. So you're going to be very kind of dug into something this month. They talk about basically like it's the sun card, so it means sunlight, golden energy, all things wonderful, but it's coming in blocked. So it's saying that you're not there yet because you're handcuffed to something. So when we read them together, it's basically saying that something is barricading you besides just the handcuff situation to experiencing this wonderful golden energy. So there's work left to be done in June, in other words. When we look, a lot to unbox here. They're talking about there's a lot that you have to not just do, but think about. They kind of brought me back. There's a lot for you to think about in the month of June. There are still decisions that have to be made that are not, whether you realize it or not. It's a good time to kind of meditate on certain things or brainstorm. If you know the things that you have to get done and work on, you can kind of make a plan to do so. And it feels in a big percentile of Geminis that a lot of you have a lot of something to get out. For something like that, you want to use the full moon energy to do that. That's when the cosmic lunar energy is heightened and at its peak. That happens on June 24th. So the end of the month is the best window of opportunity to get stuff out that you need to get out. So if there's any kind of stuff that is barricading and slowing you down and just like quicksand keeping you stuck, make a plan so that by the end of the month, or at least closer toward the end of the month, you have the plan already made. You've thought about it. You've thought about it. And then when that window of opportunity comes, the June 24th full moon, you can kind of act on it and just kind of pull the trigger and go. That's probably the best advice I can give for that. Now, when we look at the recent past, it's saying that there is a lack of thought nurturing, and that's probably why the thinker card came up to what I just talked about. They're talking about that you haven't really thought things through fully. You haven't, that's why I say nurtured the thoughts. So these thoughts need to mature. They need to develop more. You need to get better at planning, because you're basically in this situation because things have not been planned as much as they probably should have. Now, when we look into the future, the near future in the Celtic cross position, it shows that you're coming out of this physical injury. So for some of you, this is going to be an actual physical injury directly. For others of you, this is more of a metaphorical, like you're coming out of being injured, restrained, having impairments. So you're moving out of that chapter, and that's a good thing to see. It's a better position to see in the future. So if a lot of you are, or if any of you are going through some physical burdens right now in regards to your health or any other part of your life, it's showing in the future, in the near future, that starts to get resolved and you start moving out of the injury and moving into the recovery. So that's a very good thing to see as well. When we look at the position of above in the Celtic cross, that tells me that this is something that you're aware of. So I'm not telling you anything new. It's saying that you are very well aware that there is this new, whatever it is, this new something that is a physical thing. It's kind of a weird kind of dichotomy we have going on, and that's why I'm kind of like taking some time with it mentally. But they just went from telling me that you haven't thought things through to telling me that there is something that is thought through very well. So that's kind of the dichotomy I'm trying to understand here. Whatever this thing is, you have it handled. This, for a lot of you, has something to do with nature or the outdoors, projects, outside projects specifically. There's also an attachment of feminine energy to it. It could be gardening. Seems like a very suitable thing to insert in that position. Anything outdoors like that. Something in that regard. You have thought through. You have set up how you actually want to do it. And if you have not actually done it physically, June is the month to do that physically, is what I'm saying. Gosh, they're really pushing me with you, Gemini. Okay, so now when we get to the under position, this is something that you're not aware of, and that's why they're bringing it up. It's saying that you're not aware of that there is some kind of mental message coming in. Now, a mental message in like modern terms, that's usually like a text message, an email, some kind of correspondence, a bill, something in the mail. Well, I'll take the mail thing out. Usually more email because it's more mental message, so it's not physical. mail would be physical. So more like an email or a notification, something like that. Or it could be even somebody, like a text message, somebody calling you. So it's something like transitory that travels through the air. A message that's coming in that's going to affect probably a good part of your June. I don't know specifically what that message is going to be. It's going to be different for everybody. There's different themes, a lot of different themes going on for Geminis. There's a lot of you out there. It's not just you. But expect that probably, I would say, early June, at least the first half of June. We should know more about that by then. So that's obviously going to have some implications for where you go with your plan for everything and your month. When we move into the advice section, they're showing the Lover's card blocked. That can mean a lot of things. It's blocked. It means the energy is not flowing good, or it's being bound up in some form. This could affect your love life. Your love life may be absent. It may be hindered. It may be kinked up. It may be suppressed. It may be jilted. For whatever reason, the Lover's card is coming in blocked. So if you are in a relationship and this means something to you, you may want to do something to spice it up, to fix this, or to put energy into it to get it fixed. If you happen to be a single Gemini, I would read that as that June is not a good love month. It's coming in blocked. So wait it out for July. Hopefully better options and alternatives suit you then. So it's finding the right context. I know this is a general reading, and it's, there's, like I said, a lot of Geminis, and it's hard to get specific messages for you. I have a how-to video on how to pick apart a general reading if you're not familiar with it. I'll put that in the description for you to check out, and that's good at picking out the pieces that apply to you specifically so you can do something with it. Also, if it still doesn't make sense to you, I offer private readings. Now that is on my website, scottsagent.com, and I do offer those as well. So as we move on here to the next spot, we got external influences. This is more of the environment of the situation. It's saying that right now you're surrounded by a lot of impatient people, a lot of people who are just like, rah, rah, rah. Hey, let's, they want things to go their way. You want things to go your way. It's just the environment that you've surrounded yourself with is a little bit chaotic right now. It's asking for you to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more lenient with it, and maybe more open as well. They're saying that the environment is not finished. The energy is very kind of spread out and just kind of going all over the place. It really needs your patience to bring it back in and to reel it in a little bit. They're saying that there's a lot unfinished right now in the environment. And for a lot of you, this could be your dwelling. You might have a lot of work to do inside your house, inside your apartment, condo, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that you're working on, or maybe you're redecorating, you're moving things around. There's a lot of work to be done, and that would also fall into your environment. Now we move into hopes and fears. It's a very positive card. It's the Ace of Cups. It's love or just abundance overflowing. So it's a very good thing. So that wouldn't fall under fear. That would be hopes. So you have hope that all things are going to be good. Emotionally, you're going to be very fulfilled, and things are going to be abundantly flowing to you. There's really not a whole lot for me to say about that, but just make sure that you, this is an emotional card, so just make sure that you, as well as feel the emotions of that, make sure that you have a kind of a logical aptitude toward things too, and you stay grounded and down to earth. Like you don't get lost in the clouds too much is basically what I'm saying. Along with your hopes, because they're saying that you're a dreamer in a lot of ways, and that's good. That's a good thing to be, but not to the point of your detriment where things start to crash because you're such a dreamer and you're not living in the real world. So there's that. Now we end with your final outcome. The final outcome is showing brand new money, brand new health, or brand new job, but it's coming in blocked. So it's saying it's not here yet, it's on the horizon, it's on the future, not June, in other words. Since we are looking at June, that's coming in blocked, so it's saying not now, the timing is off. So if you're trying to move your health to the next level, it doesn't mean to stop doing that. It just means that June is just going to be a speed bump for you. Same thing applies to work. If you're trying to move your work to the next level, it's something real life. So it's not an idea. It's not a feeling, anything like that. It's something actually real. So it's usually a job or your health or money specifically. So it's coming in blocked. So it's just not flowing now is the main gist of what we're talking about. So it's more of a timing issue than anything else. So just keep that in mind as you move forward, that it's just not going to happen in June, and that's okay, because it doesn't mean it's not ever going to happen. It just means that you have more work to be done first, almost like a prerequisite. So that concludes our Celtic cross. Very interesting spread for sure, and a challenging one as well. So Gemini, we are going to see what your animal totem is. I can hardly wait. Okay, we have an interesting one for sure. It's the moth. The moth, the insect, the moth. All right, so the first thing with the moth, extremely nocturnal insect. If you are not nocturnal, if you keep, normal day hours, you may want to start considering using the evening or the night for more productive means. Don't just work when the sun is up. Get things done when it's not as well. The other message with the moth is, be careful what attracts you as well, because the moth flies into the moonlight, but the moonlight may also be a flame, maybe a candle, maybe a bright light that ends up burning it and singeing it or killing it. So be careful what attracts you in the month of June. It may not be beneficial to you. It may be those bad things that I described too. So just be extra cautious, maybe, especially to what it feels very materialistic. Be very careful about materialistic things, big purchases, spending a lot of money, buying things right now. A lot of things can look, propaganda is very shiny, and these things look so great, but then when it comes down to it, probably not the best time to get it, not the time to be drawn to that light so much. What else can we say about the moth? They take flight, so it's a mental message as well with the air of the flight. So it's saying, like, mentally, just make sure you're making sound decisions. I think that kind of goes back as well to what we said about, the emotional aspect of you being a dreamer, perhaps a lot of you. Just make sure that your logic stays in line so that you don't end up in the flame like some moths. So we've gone over the moon cycles. We have gone over the general reading how-to in the description. I also want to tell you about the launch of the website and the email list. If you sign up for that right now, what I'm offering is an absolutely free personal reading. I call it a My Month. And a My Month takes away the general reading aspect of this, and it's just a couple cards, but it's specifically for you. So it's usually extremely accurate. I'm offering that right now, absolutely free, just for signing up to the email. It's just your email address, first name, first initial of your last name, and date of birth, and that's it. I only use it for, I send one email a month. It's just for content updates as well as new information and new products. So it's a no-brainer. Absolutely sign up for that. Within 24 to 48 hours, I will send you back your My Month. It's a $12 value, absolutely free for the launch of the website. So take advantage of that. And that is going to conclude our reading for Gemini. And that was one of the more difficult ones that I've had to do for June. So thank you as well for that. Every little challenge in life makes us better and stronger, right? So this is me signing off for now. I want to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. June is also the beginning of summer. It's going to get hot out there, so get out there and have some fun. And I will see you guys in July. Take care.